Oh, there's going to be some fireworks, but we may not see them. President Bush and President Musharraf of Pakistan are meeting at the White House this morning, and prior to this, the Pakistani president revealed that after 9/11, when we were getting ready to go after Osama bin Laden, we told the Pakistani president, Mr. Musharraf, that he'd better cooperate with us on the war on terror or we would bomb Pakistan back to the Stone Age. The American who apparently was involved in those talks says that those weren't exactly his words, but it was a very strong warning at that time. Musharraf becoming a little edgy, particularly with George W. Bush saying that if we knew where Osama bin Laden was in Pakistan, we'd go get him, which constitutes an illegal invasion of another nation, which, of course, Mr. Musharraf is not at all in favor of. Anyway, those talks today likely to focus on how much we're going to have to pay them to keep on cooperating with us, if they will. Meanwhile, not since 1918 have there been Turkish troops in Lebanon, but they're going there now. The volunteer forces of Turkey will be moving in to help the international force enforce the borderline between Israel and southern Lebanon. They will be part of the peacekeeping force there for a considerable period of time, according to most military observers, which means that the Ottoman Empire is back on the road again. The Salinas groundwater, the water in the ditches and things like that, where those few places where the Salinas River surfaces, are so polluted that it has been outside of federal standards for decades. Apparently, the farming practices down there, which have been pointed out as being dangerous by organic farming sources and things of that nature, the practices of fertilizing, pesticide, cattle, etc., the whole place is, just don't let your kids go near the water any place in the Salinas Valley. That's an official report that's come out now. Now there are also reports that there were warnings last fall about the possibility of E. coli and other scenes. E. coli in one or another variety is present in all the water sources down there. If this has percolated down to the Salinas River, which is largely an underground river, then that entire area of California agriculture is going to have to switch to flowers or something non-edible, because you can't keep this up and have groundwater pumping into your vegetables with poisons. Let's see. Yesterday was fun. Press conferences by both Mr. Ahmadinejad from the Iranian nation and Mr. Chavez from Venezuela. He went to Harlem, went down the streets, greeting people, talking in Spanish to Puerto Ricans and things of that nature. Generally had a hero's welcome in most of the areas. The talk shows of the right wing in America going ape over the idea that Chavez came here and told the truth about things. Interesting sidebar to that one. When he did his press conference after the UN appearance, he did his press conference yesterday, he showed a book by Noam Chomsky. I think it's called Hegemony or something about hegemony anyway. That was prior to the Chavez showing of that book and recommending that everybody, including the United Nations members, read it. Prior to that, it was 1,653rd or something like that on the Amazon.com list. It's moving up toward 4th at the present time. Noam Chomsky, who never gets any video anywhere in any of the networks except for the Democracy Now! Show. Interesting. The Palestinian government has decided that they will recognize Israel, which, considering it surrounds them pretty much, is probably a pretty good idea. They will recognize Israel. That's Fatah and Hamas, the majority in the parliament. That should, if they're lucky, settle the question and allow international aid and things of that nature to begin to flow again to the Palestinians. The Palestinian government not only stony broke, but way, way, way into debt after the Europeans, the United Nations, and the United States all decided to cut off their aid to the Palestinians because of the Hamas election, which, when democracy doesn't go your way, what are you going to do? The Senate has cut a deal on the interrogation of prisoners and the trying of potential terrorists. The deal basically cuts to the idea that the Geneva Convention will remain intact, but the president will have the opportunity to interpret it officially. Those interpretations, however, will have to be published in the federal record. In other words, someplace in the federal record there will be a note saying, the president has decided that waterboarding is okay if it doesn't last more than 24 hours. Something like that. Anyway, it settles the deal so that they can make an attempt. The House will probably pass a mirror version of the Senate bill today, and that means that if they're really lucky, they can rush it through tonight and get it done, because next week is the last of the Congress. People keep saying, before the recess. This isn't the recess, folks. This is end of game, and it looks like we're all going to lose. And that's enough news for now. I'm Travis T. Hipp on the Pig on the radio on a Friday. Stay tuned.